I believed in God. I believed in Jesus. I never doubted for a minute that he was the Savior. To be honest, I kind of wanted to do things my way. And I think we all have that innate that you think you know what's best all the time.
We got married back in 2009. So we've been married for about 5 years. We had a blast. We've just had the most amazing marriage, and fabulous guy, very athletic, very much into Tough Mudders, into Spartans, into Ironman. He was the healthiest man I'd ever known. He was never sick. I mean, we'd all get a cold, the whole family would be down with it, and he'd be fine. He'd be having nurses all back to health. Then in May, he got a headache, and didn't know quite what to do about the headache because he'd never had a headache before. And it got worse. And so I took him to the emergency room, and they said, it was a sinus infection, sent him home with some antibiotics. Keep his fever down, he'll be fine. The next morning, woke up and said, I feel great. No more headache, no more fever, feel great. I was like, oh, okay, well then let's go do something. He's like, okay, we need to go to 7-Eleven and go get some running shoes. And then he said a couple other things that were really confusing. Put him in an MRI the next morning, and the doctor came to me and said, this is herpes encephalitis, which is the herpes virus is basically eating his brain matter. And he most likely won't make it through the night. If he does wake up, then he'll be a vegetable. And I swore, I said, God, please don't take him from me. You can't, this is my soulmate. This is the man that I've looked for my whole life. You can't take him.
Unfortunately, because of the encephalitis, I have amnesia and don't remember much from the past 15 to 20 years. And I don't remember even being in the ICU and going through the encephalitis attack. I didn't even remember my wife when I woke up, or my children, or when we got married, or where I lived for that matter. And friends would come visit me and I had no idea who they were.
Hadn't really been going to church very much, for a couple of years. And for some reason, we just decided to kind of go back.
When I got home and got to church there at the Summerlin campus one day, Pastor Tim talked, and it was just the right message at the right time for that day. And leaving the church, Pastor Tim was just kind of waiting, greeting people on the way out. And I shook his hand and told him how much his message meant to me that day. And he's like, we should get together. Just love to chat, And she called him up and said, hey, how would you like to meet someday? And we've got a story I'd like to share with you. And it was important, and for us to not only feel like we were connected with the church, to be able to go through that and share that with him and get more encouragement from him that this is still part of God's plan and is a way for us to reach others and to hopefully share a story that will help some other people down the road. I know for a fact God's told me that this is what he felt he needed to do to reach me and to get my attention and to draw me closer to him. I still wake up very positive every morning knowing that God has told me that the best days of my life are ahead of me and that he wants me to make a difference. This is him pointing me out and saying, I love you. And I'm not mad at you, I'm mad about you. Maybe these things seem horrible from someone looking from the outside in, but God loved me so much that he knew what it was going to take to get my attention. I want other people to know that he loves you just as much, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to reach you too.